I'm hoping that the audience here will understand how they're going to be able to use their XRP to get yield.
Alrighty, everybody, what is going on? Welcome back to another CYPRX video banger. In today's video breakdown, we're going to be discussing and talking about putting your idle XRP to work, how we are entering into this era of yield generation where we are not going to have to sell our digital assets for fiat currency. We're going to be able to remain in the crypto and Web3 ecosystem and pay ourselves passive rewards no matter what the price of XRP is, being able to remain liquid and heavily involved in this Web3 ecosystem in the near future moving forward. So with that being said, if you all enjoy these deep research dives, do me a favor, smash that thumbs up button and subscribe. Always showing you guys the realest research in the game. I wanted to set the tone for today's video breakdown with that gentleman there who said in the next 2 to 3 years, he perceives the conversations around staking. He specifically mentioned Solana, the digital asset, but opened the door and the possibility for other staking opportunities to possibly come on the table for other digital assets.
You can now plug a staking rewards rate into a discounted cash flow model and almost, treat Ethereum or treat Solana like you would any sort of traditional valuation model for
Yeah, exactly. I mean, right now the conversation is like very preliminary.
Yes.
They just want to talk about Coinbase. Like for me, they tell me about Coinbase. Can it go up? Can it go up to $300? What are the catalysts? Can we see the bill this year? Like those are the conversation right now. But going down the rabbit hole, maybe in the next 2 to 3 years, I think more and more people will talk about staking and Solana and other tokens.
Yeah.
So first, I want to show you guys who it is that we're going to be listening to today. So you guys can not only see that hardly anybody in this space is paying attention to this information, but that you guys can hear it directly from these large scale institutions that are actually market movers in the space, telling you all that you should be paying attention to learning DeFi, which is exactly what we have been stressing here in the CYPRX Wealth 28 Club for over the past year. If you guys are interested in learning more about DeFi after this particular video breakdown, again, you do not need to risk your hard-earned digital assets to learn about DeFi. Head over to CYPRXtrading.com, tap into the Wealth 28 Club or the private Discord. We'd love to have you on the team. And if you want to take the free route, say, for example, this is your first video breakdown, pause this video or finish watching it. And then afterwards, head over to the CYPRX YouTube, click the playlist tab and watch the yield playlist on the CYPRX YouTube. There's over 60 free video breakdowns that break down the DeFi landscape for you guys thoroughly enough for you to understand what is happening. But this video breakdown is one you are not going to want to miss. So first, before we get into XRP yield generation, and I want to show you guys some recent post activity that is going to really enlighten your thinking and your way of understanding this world in which we are headed into. This particular video breakdown was posted on July 11th, 2025, has 41 views from Figment. If you guys don't know who Figment is, just go out and do your own personal research. That's not who we're going to be listening to today. Gentleman from Figment is the moderator of this panel. We are going to be listening to individual representatives from Oppenheimer & Co., Grayscale, Apollo, and Robinhood. So the gentleman that you guys just listened to stems from Oppenheimer. So who are they? Again, we always like to show you guys that we listen and pay attention to institutional insights. We do not deliver our opinions here. And if we do deliver our opinions here at CYPRX, they are backed by institutional research. Oppenheimer Co. is a leading American investment bank and a full-service financial services firm. Right now, according to Perplexity, I believe this is 2024 to 2025 data, they have about $49 billion in assets under management. Okay, so just to give you a perspective of who these individuals are that we're listening to. Grayscale is the world's largest digital currency asset management, specializing in cryptocurrency investment products since its founding in 2013. And as of July 13, 2025, the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust holds approximately 183,000 Bitcoin valued at over $21 billion, right? Apollo Global Management, $548 billion in assets under management. Apollo is considered one of the world's largest alternative asset managers, ranking 29th in Private Equity International's 2024. And then last but not least, we have Robinhood. Most of you guys know who Robinhood is, but for anybody that does not, it manages around $221 billion in assets under custody. Robinhood is a major player in the fintech brokerage space with tens of millions of users and hundreds of billions of dollars of assets under management. right? So you guys now understand who it is that we're going to be tapping into and listening to. These people are going to directly tell you that you all should be learning about DeFi right now. So again, take it in consideration what we've been trying to show you guys over the past year, trying to get people to see now's the time to learn. We are early. These people also directly mention that they are learning about looping strategies, DeFi yield generation strategies right now in the moment. So this video breakdown, again, like I said, is not going to be one that you're going to want to miss. Heading over here, this is where we're going to start today's video breakdown, because we're going to constantly see this outdated mindset from individuals on this space that seem like they have credentials because they wear a suit nice and they have a nice, pretty smile. Do not be manipulated into believing that you should listen to people because they wear a suit well. For example, again, not to bash anybody on the internet, but this is such an outdated mindset. This shows that people are not doing enough research as to the ever-evolving landscape that we're currently heading into. What is your XRP exit target? You should have no exit target, at least for a large portion of your digital assets, in my personal opinion. I'm always an advocate of selling some profit, maybe possibly taking out your initial investment, paying yourselves and buying yourself something nice. But we are heading into an era where you do not have to do that. And you can actually take your digital assets, earn passive income, and pay yourself with that passive income. $27, $50, $100+ dollars on XRP as a long-term target to sell for what? For fiat, a dead, decaying, dying currency where they devalue our fiat currencies at a very rapid pace. We lose the value of our fiat currencies due to inflation year after year after year. Why would you want to sell for fiat when you've worked so hard to accumulate these digital assets? And then down here at the bottom, you can actually see one of our Wealth 28 Club members earn yield, baby. Wealth 28 Club. I could not agree more. So taking you over here to this post where I responded back to this individual by saying, this is why the Wealth 28 Club is different. And I want you all to really take into consideration what it is that I'm about to say.
We're more still evaluating how we would integrate XRPL or XRPL EVM. I think as a user, I saw Hugo's presentation yesterday on staking. That was really interesting. I think this conference, I've seen a lot of panels around staking in general, and the concept that you can stake your XRP and get yield is phenomenal. I think that's like a really big upgrade from a user's perspective. I saw a lot of talk about the RLUSD stuff. I think XRP staking plus RLUSD, there are like many different DeFi use cases that I think will emerge. Like you could probably, stake XRP, loan it, borrow against it, use RLUSD to loop it again. I think we'll see a lot of DeFi use cases come out of XRPL as well. And I think the team's already on board.
Where is the option to build real wealth the right way? Instead of selling your XRP for fiat currency, you can liquid stake your XRP to earn passive yield, receive a liquid stake token in return, lend out that token to earn even more yield, borrow stablecoins against that token without ever selling your XRP, use that borrowed stablecoin to purchase, for example, something like real estate property, form an LLC to hold the real estate asset for liability protection, then tokenize the property through a regulated PropTech protocol to earn more yield, rent out that property to a physical tenant to generate additional passive income, and then place both your LLC and your crypto holdings into a trust to ensure your assets are protected and passed on tax efficiently, then live off the yield, compound your returns, never sell out of your crypto position, use some of the yield to pay back your initial loan. This is how you build generational wealth without relying on liquidation. This is not an exit plan. This is an elevation plan. CYPRX is different. And I had to tag this individual because, again, this mindset that you're going to sell for fiat currency in the future at some high-end price is such an outdated mindset. And I'm going to show you guys proof that that is to be the case in today's video breakdown. Heading over here and another reply tab where I said in reply to that post that I made, we are no longer just in an era of knowing what you hold. I know for a fact, if you are watching this video breakdown and you are in the XRP army or the XRP community, or you watch other XRP influencers, they are constantly saying, know what you hold. I cannot stand seeing that. Why? Because we are entering into a new financial paradigm where it's about how you make what you hold work for you. Knowing what you hold is cool and all, but if you don't know how to make what you hold work for you, then it's honestly, there's no point to it. Day trading and chasing price projections. That is an old playbook way of thinking. The new era is about asset productivity, cash flow, automated yield strategies, and sovereign financial control. I cannot stress enough. And here in the CYPRX Wealth 28 Club, we have been at the forefront of trying to project to you guys that this is the new way of thinking, that if you really want to survive in the future moving forward, you have to shift that mindset. And it does take some elbow grease. It does take a learning curve. And I understand hearing these things over and over again, and my content gets a little bit repetitive. But when you peel back the curtains, and like that gentleman from Oppenheimer says, you go down the rabbit hole, it is mind-blowing what you can accomplish. And so I said here, with tools like Flare's F assets, FXRP, and STXRP, your XRP can now be staked. It can generate yield. It can be reused across DeFi, DEXs, lending, and borrowing markets, and yield markets. This is no longer just holding. This is deploying capital intelligently. This is the DeFi evolution. And I had the tag Firelight in here being built out on Flare Network, where they have just recently posted an infographic talking about this exact strategy, where we're going to be able to deposit our XRP. We're going to be able to get in return a liquid stake token. Then with that liquid stake token, go out and deploy it in the DeFi ecosystem. For example, on a lending platform, you can lend out that liquid stake token, borrow against it. And then if you want to buy yourself something nice, like a new Ferrari or a new house, or your wife, a new nice little bracelet or a watch or a wrist, whatever, you don't have to use your original XRP to do that. You can use crypto that you borrowed against with that XRP to do that, and stay and remain in the crypto and Web3 ecosystem instead of selling for fiat and having to get back into the crypto market. Again, you have to switch your way of thinking, ladies and gentlemen, and it takes education. So before you guys call me crazy and think that I'm just trying to tell you guys to do this, I always want to back what it is that I'm saying with valid credentials, or people that have valid credentials in the space that have been telling you guys this, that work directly for Ripple or on the XRPL. So first, we're going to come over here. Apex 2025. A lot of people did not listen to this event. If you hold XRP, you should have watched every single second of Apex, because there was so much juice. So first, we're going to listen to Jazzy Cooper, where she goes on to talk about how now institutions, it's more risky for them not to hold digital assets. And we're entering into an era where yield generation is going to become the new normal. Take a second here and listen to Jazzy Cooper.
It's true. We're at a turning point. Public chains were once seen as too risky for institutions, and now it's too risky for institutions not to integrate them with their business. Institutions have truly embraced blockchain and are finally launching real products on public chains, including the XRP ledger. And XRPL is evolving to meet that demand. Over the past year, a number of key features have gone live, ranging from the automated market maker to decentralized identity, price oracles, and clawback. And we have others that are still in voting: credentials, MPTs, permission domains. These features are foundational infrastructure for building secure, transparent, and scalable financial products. And we're not just modernizing finance, we're making it more inclusive, accessible, and programmable. And we're finally seeing real traction. XRPL is supporting real-world applications ranging from payments to yield generation, all decentralized and at scale.
So just so you guys heard, Jazzy Cooper, directly a representative from Ripple, mentioned yield generation.
XRPL is supporting real-world applications ranging from payments to yield generation, all decentralized and at scale.
So that way, people that have never heard this before don't think that we're just making this up. You got to listen to people with actual credentials in this space, and not yappers on the internet, on Twitter, and the YouTube space. All right. Which is why we try to pull information directly from the source to broadcast it to you guys. So then you can go out and base your opinions on real information in this game, and not just people opinions on the internet that don't have any credentials. If we come over here to another piece from the CoinDesk Apex 2025 little panel discussion, we have Hugo Filion himself, and listen to what his goal is here at Apex 2025. Take a second and listen.
Spectrum.
All right, we are at Apex 2025 in Singapore. What are you hoping to walk away from the event with, and what are you hoping to walk away from the region with as you go back home and continue to build?
Absolutely. So, I hope the XRP community and the people at Ripple will understand, what we're building with Flare and Firelight. It's obviously the first major use case for our blockchain for data. We obviously intend to go way beyond, just XRP staking. There's huge value in using data and compute to increase the capabilities of DeFi applications. We think we have probably a list of 30 things we would like to have built. So if you're a developer out there, come and talk to us. That utilize the very unique nature of Flare's stack, from AI to way more interesting financial primitives than currently exist. So that's that's sort of where we are. So I'm hoping that the audience here will understand how they're going to be able to use their XRP to get yield and then participate downstream in the DeFi ecosystem with a liquid stake token. This then allows them to effectively retain their position in XRP, but also get some financial performance out of it other than just the beta to the market.
So again, that's not me making this information up. That's coming directly from a builder in this space, directly from Hugo Filion himself. One key takeaway he hopes that the audience gathers from this is that they can put their XRP to work and they can retain their XRP position, generate yield, and never have to sell out of their position, right? Utilizing a platform like Firelight, right, which is being built out right now on Flare. And so this is huge information. Most people in this space are ignoring this. And so now, backing what Hugo just said, how he thinks that the audience should grasp these concepts, liquid staking, so on and so forth, more proof that you, again, should be taking initiative to educate yourself in this space as to what these things are, how you're going to be able to get your digital assets to work for you. We do not encourage people to go out there and just start trying to earn yield on their digital assets, because if you don't know what you're doing, you're going to get wrecked. You're going to be exposing yourself to impermanent loss and risks in the DeFi space that you don't understand. That is why we encourage education. And so to back what Hugo said, now let's listen to people with even more valid credentials in the traditional financial space telling you all the same exact thing, that you all should be educating yourself about DeFi. So here we're going to go to 20 minutes and 45 seconds in this Figment video with, again, 41 views. Shout out to the CYPRX research team for this. They're always delivering our private community with the best insights from institutions and the largest players in this game. If you guys want access to hundreds, literally, honestly, probably thousands of panel discussions that never reach the mainstream, or crypto related fundamentals that never make headline news because the space just moves so fast, but all the fundamentals that you should be paying attention to behind the scenes, you guys have direct access to that information and that research in our private CYPRX Discord. You can head over to cyprxtrading.com and you can tap in with us. But listen to what this individual representative here says. I already went over all these organizations' credentials. Take a second here and listen to what they say.
That's where they're using stuff that's on-prem. It's really understanding natively how staking works on all the different protocols. And it is different. ETH staking is much different than Sol staking, even though they're both proof of stake. So I would implore everybody to really not dive into like the technical deep rabbit hole of how all of these things work, but you really should understand the basic tenets of how staking works from a smart contract perspective, from a validator, from a proposer. You really should understand how everything works and then make a risk-based decision of, am I going to be doing my own infrastructure? Am I going to be leveraging a partner to help me stand up my own staking infrastructure? Am I going to be leveraging pooled? I'm going to be leveraging staking. And again, the rewards and the risk kind of deviate from spectrum to spectrum as opposed to what solution that you're going to be looking for. And the last thing to leave everybody with is it really comes down to the same way you select any sort of partners from a due diligence perspective.
So, right, this gentleman from Robinhood is directly telling people that they should go out and learn about staking. They should understand how these things work. Now, don't just, take it from this gentleman. Let's listen to Christine Moy from Apollo talk about looping strategies and how they have been learning these things. Take a second here and listen to what Christine Moy from Apollo says.
Permission blockchain, you'll all be proud that I finally made it out, 10 years later. And now, after that first step, it's the next thing, right? And by the way, a lot of traditional players in blockchain think that tokenization is the end. But what they really don't realize is that it's actually just the first step. You get on chain and they're like, hooray, we've tokenized something, congratulations, now what? But really the next step is how do we develop more compelling products? So as Nick from Solana mentioned, really focused on, how do we get this, private credit fund into DeFi protocols and make it, more mobilizable. And that's another thing as well. A lot of my job is actually thinking about what does the future look like and how does Apollo win in that future? How do we take opportunities in the change and how do we make sure that we don't get disrupted? And what's clear to me, and it should be clear to all of you, is that the next generation of investor is very different and from an expectations and activity perspective than current set of investors, right? Clearly, especially in the crypto native set, not only do you want to invest and have yield, you want to interact with your investments. You want to, I guess I've been learning about looping and vaulting and swapping, right? You want to get active.
Y'all, that was probably one of the biggest video confirmations that I've played all of 2025. A individual representative from Apollo Global Management just openly admitted that she has been learning about.
You want to interact with your investments. You want to, I guess I've been learning about looping and vaulting and like swapping, right? Like you want to get active.
If that is not a wake-up call to get you guys to see that you should be learning about these yield generating strategies and participating in DeFi, I have no idea what else to show you guys. Okay. Billions of dollars, hundreds of billions of dollars of assets under management, just publicly admitted on stage from a video that was uploaded in July. This excites me so much because this just confirms all of our work here at the Well 28 Club, because this is a person from traditional finance telling you guys to get active, literally to get active. This is 110% confirmation as to where the future is headed. But if that wasn't enough confirmation, I'm going to play this one last video clip of Christine Moy telling you all that this strategy that I just mentioned right here, right, where I said liquid stake your XRP, right, receive liquid stake token, this pretty much looping strategy here that I talked about. Well, Christine Moy specifically on stage here says that this is already happening. This is the future. This is what's taking place right now, and you can participate in these strategies right now, right? Again, not financial advice. Learn about them first before you get comfortable enough to go out and do so, but just listen to someone with credentials tell you guys that this is happening. Take a second here and listen.
Beyond ETFs, what type of alternative vehicles are you exploring? What have you guys done in the space, and how are you working with helping build exposure to digital assets on chain?
Yeah, no, and thanks. I'm like really excited to talk about this. Like, I think for those of you that have known me through the decade, it's been my life's work to try to figure out how do we tokenize real world assets and utilize the blockchain to build better products and services and experiences than we have today. So like just a quick example, like when I get paid by Apollo into my bank account, like I kind of guesstimate, like maybe this is how much my credit card bill is, maybe this is how much I have left, I should do something with that. And then if I actually got it together to do something, which I don't because I'm a hot mess and I'm working too much, like maybe I would like press a bunch of buttons and like get them into treasuries just to get like a base level yield. Or, if I was really ambitious, I'd start investing in some Apollo products, but we never get there. Now, and then inevitably, if I end up doing anything, then I have to reverse out of it because I got to pay taxes the next month. So then I have to like, press all those buttons and call a private banker or whatever it is that I need to do to get back into cash. And then literally like, all of my earnings just not utilized, not invested, not yielding or anything. Now in a future world where we have multiple assets on chain, and by the way, the future is here, I get paid from Apollo and I get paid into my crypto wallet. And my crypto wallet has designed for me a model portfolio that is 10% stables, 20% money markets, 25%, Apollo private credit, of course, and 25% like YOLO crypto native yields because I'm risk tolerant like that. And so basically I get paid and automatically that pie chart, like my payment or whatever my payroll is, gets automatically distributed into that pie chart. And without me having to do anything, every cent of my earnings is being deployed, invested, and yielding. Take that a step further, I go to lunch at Nobu, and I'm like, okay, cool, like I'm gonna pay for lunch now $100 to Nobu. That would be an automated, DeFi swap from treasuries into USDC, off-ramped to pay to Nobu. And not only is every penny yielding, it's yielding up until the last second for which I have to spend it. And now that is absolutely a 10x experience than what we have today. I mean, unless all of you all are like managing your earnings better than I am. Anybody here doing that? Okay. So like assuming that you're not, by the way, applicable not only for people, applicable for corporate treasuries, applicable for DAOs, and by the everything that I've described exists today. So, that's like a multi-step.
That is 110% confirmation that what we've been working towards here in the Well 28 Club is for a fact valid. She just confirmed everything that she just mentioned is already here today. So take that into consideration to full circle back to this post. This is not hopium or hype. This is real wealth transformation information here. Like I cannot stress enough, people, if you are still stuck in the mindset of I'm going to sell when XRP goes to $100 and I'm going to retire and be happy-go-lucky with my fiat currency bags, buying a mansion and buying everything nice that I want and this and that, we got to shift that outdated mindset. So as always, bringing you guys some of the realest research in the game. This is a wake-up call, and I hope that myself and the CYPRX research team sharing you guys these video breakdowns and these documents with people with valid credentials is really eye-opening here to you guys, and that you really enjoy it. And even if you guys don't go take the approach where you come and you tap in with us in the Wealth 28 Club or in the private CYPRX Discord, that's okay. Not everybody likes the mentorship route, and I get that. But go tap into the free content. follow us on X, follow the CYPRX research team on X, go watch the free YouTube videos on our YouTube playlists and start to educate yourself, start to read documents, start to find these panel discussions that we pick apart here in the CYPRX private community. And if you guys don't know where to find them, you all know where to find them by tapping in with us here at CYPRX. As always, many blessings to you guys. Do me a favor, please, before you go, smash that thumbs up button and subscribe to the platform. It does help boost that algorithm and push these videos out to more like-minded individuals that are attempting to make it long-term beyond 2030 in this space, just like you all. As always, be cognizant, be aware out there. I cannot stress enough to strive for your education. And with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next video breakdown.